Well, good afternoon, Patriots. This is Jonathan Alexander, America's Defense Force Patriot Talk Show. And just want to have a discussion here today. And if you want to give a call in, you're welcome to call in. The number is 208-449-5300. Today, I want to discuss the Constitution and what it means to you. And also would like to discuss about the oath that many of us have taken and what that oath means to you as well. So I'd like to first of all, I'd like to start the show out and by saying, hope everyone's having a good Monday. I'm out here in the Mojave Desert. It's hotter than hell here today. And I'm going to go ahead and start out playing this here for you guys. So this right here is the oath that many of us given, guys.
Let me be the first to congratulate you on a job well done and call you a United States Marine. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and to bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I will obey the orders of the President of the United States and the orders of those officers appointed over me according to regulations and the Uniform Code of Military Justice. So help me God.
All right. I don't know about for all you guys, but I as well have given that oath. And I'll tell you what, that oath has no expiration date. And, for me, as a patriot, an American citizen, I can tell you guys right now, I will defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That's non-negotiable. So here's the thing in the oath. The oath says that we will take orders from the President of the United States. There's a spot in that right there where us as patriots, as people that given the oath, we have a constitution to uphold. We are not allowed a treasonous government. And look where we're at today, guys. We have a very treasonous government that is totally against the Constitution of the United States of America, that even wants to abolish the Constitution. That's non-negotiable, guys. Either way we look at it. But every day, we're constantly seeing Congress going against the Constitution. We're seeing the Senate go against the Constitution. We're seeing where they're allowing invasions on our borders. I mean, you name it. We got a treasonous government out there. And so, I want to play something else here for you guys real quick. And give me a second to get to it. Like for you guys to hear this. This is the Declaration of Independence.
In Congress, July 4th, 1776. The unanimous declaration of the 13 United States of America. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such forms as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness.
So right there, guys, I think that's pretty plain English. It's telling you right there we're not to be tolerating a corrupt government.
Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes. And accordingly, all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations pursuing invariably the same object evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former systems of government. The history of the present King of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having in direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world. He has refused his assent to laws, the most wholesome and necessary for the public good. He has forbidden his governors to pass laws of immediate and pressing importance, unless suspended in their operation till his assent should be obtained. And when so suspended, he has utterly neglected to attend to them. He has refused to pass other laws for the accommodation of large districts of people, unless those people would relinquish the right of representation in the legislature, a right inestimable to them and formidable to tyrants only. He has called together legislative bodies at places unusual, uncomfortable, and distant from the depository of their public records, for the sole purpose of fatiguing them into compliance with his measures. He has dissolved representative houses repeatedly, for opposing with manly firmness his invasions on the rights of the people. He has refused for a long time after such dissolutions to cause others to be elected, whereby the legislative powers, incapable of annihilation, have returned to the people at large for their exercise, the state remaining in the meantime exposed to all the dangers of invasion from without and convulsions within. He has endeavored to prevent the population of these states, for that purpose obstructing the laws of naturalization of foreigners, refusing to pass others to encourage their migrations hither, and raising the conditions of new appropriations of lands. He has obstructed the administration of justice by refusing his assent to laws for establishing judiciary powers. He has made judges dependent on his will alone for the tenure of their offices and the amount and payment of their salaries. He has erected a multitude of new offices and sent hither swarms of officers to harass our people and eat out their substance. He has kept among us in times of peace standing armies without the consent of our legislatures. He has affected to render the military independent of and superior to the civil power. He has combined with others to subject us to a jurisdiction foreign to our Constitution and unacknowledged by our laws, giving his assent to their acts of pretended legislation, for quartering large bodies of armed troops among us, for protecting them by a mock trial, from punishment for any murders which they should commit on the inhabitants of these states, for cutting off our trade with all parts of the world, for imposing taxes on us without our consent, for depriving us in many cases of the benefits of trial by jury.
So far, guys, does that not sound like everything that's happening here today? We have a very treasonous government that has gone totally against the people. We have a president that has gone against the people. We have Congress and our Senate out there have gone against the people and the Constitution. So,
For transporting us beyond seas to be tried for pretended offenses. For abolishing the free system of English laws in a neighboring province, establishing therein an arbitrary government, and enlarging its boundaries so as to render it at once an example and fit instrument for introducing the same absolute rule into these colonies. For taking away our charters, abolishing our most valuable laws, and altering fundamentally the forms of our governments. For suspending our own legislators and declaring themselves invested with power to legislate for us in all cases whatsoever. He has abdicated government here by declaring us out of his protection and waging war against us. He has plundered our seas, ravaged our coasts, burnt our towns, and destroyed the lives of our people. He is at this time transporting large armies of foreign mercenaries to complete the works of death, desolation, and tyranny, already begun with circumstances of cruelty and perfidy scarcely paralleled in the most barbarous ages, and totally unworthy the head of a civilized nation. He has constrained our fellow citizens taken captive on the high seas to bear arms against their country, to become the executioners of their friends and brethren, or to fall themselves by their hands. He has excited domestic insurrections among us, and has endeavored to bring on the inhabitants of our frontiers, the merciless Indian savages whose known rule of warfare is an undistinguished destruction of all ages, sexes, and conditions. In every stage of these oppressions, we have petitioned for redress in the most humble terms. Our repeated petitions have been answered only by repeated injury. A prince whose character is thus marked by every act which may define a tyrant is unfit to be the ruler of a free people. Nor have we been wanting in attention to our British brethren. We have warned them from time to time of attempts by their legislature to extend an unwarrantable jurisdiction over us. We have reminded them of the circumstances of our emigration and settlement here. We have appealed to their native justice and magnanimity, and we have conjured them by the ties of our common kindred to disavow these usurpations, which would inevitably interrupt our connections and correspondence. They too have been deaf to the voice of justice and of consanguinity. We must, therefore, acquiesce in the necessity which denounces our separation and hold them, as we hold the rest of mankind, enemies in war, in peace, friends. We, therefore, the representatives of the United States of America, in General Congress, assembled, appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world for the rectitude of our intentions, do, in the name and by the authority of the good people of these colonies, solemnly publish and declare that these united colonies are and of right ought to be free and independent states, that they are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connection between them and the state of Great Britain is and ought to be totally dissolved, and that as free and independent states, they have full power to levy war, conclude peace, contract alliances, establish commerce, and to do all other acts and things which independent states may of right do. And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor.
so guys, I don't know what that means to you guys, but for me, the Declaration of Independence means everything. It's what made our country the land of the free, home of the brave. This has all been. This is all about America, guys. Look where we're at here today, and I am just totally lost trying to understand how people can just sit back and watch this corrupt government operate on a daily basis, how they have gone against our Constitution, what this country was founded on, and they have completely gone against it. So, you know, I'm always open for opinions out there, for people's thoughts. But I'll tell you guys, we are in a time that I never dreamed I'd see in this country. If you would have told me 10, 20 years ago, we'd be facing a communist country like what this country has turned into, it's communist. I would have flat out just said you guys are all nuts. But here we are today, guys. And things aren't getting any better anytime soon. And I can tell you right now, if the Democrats have their way at the end of the day, this is our future. This is the future for all of us patriots, for our children, our grandchildren. This is the way it's going to be, guys. If the Democrats take complete control, abolish the Constitution, which they're trying to do, if they complete what they're trying to succeed in, this country, guys, is doomed. And I don't know about you, but I want to live in a free country. I want to live in the land of the free and home of the brave. I want to live in a country where our dreams can become reality, the American dream. Because right now, we're all living in a nightmare, any way you look at it. So, I supposed to have a caller call in today. Looks like he's not going to be able to make it. And other than that, just I want you guys to really think about what's happening here in our country. I mean, pay close attention to the Constitution of the United States of America and ask yourselves, are we even abiding by the Constitution by allowing this corrupt government? For us guys that took the oath, is this what our oath stood for? Is this what we fight for? So, I don't know about you. My answer is no. The oath that we give is to protect and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And right now, our government is our enemy. They're our enemy by their treasonous acts, all down the board. So, hey guys, I'm going to go ahead and cut it short today. I've got a lot of errands I've got to run. I just wanted to bring that across to you guys. Hope you guys take time to listen to it. And God bless all of you. So, anyways, this is Alexander out. Until next time.